Hello, everyone. First and foremost, thank you very much for your participation. This is the 5th episode of Let's Talk About It. We interact all the time with energies and of the environment and the people around us. We are essentially energetic beings, tuned in frequencies and interacting in an endless range of fields in multiple dimensions. Mastering our consciential energies has a string of important benefits, such as overcome emotional imbalances, enable us for parapsychic self-defense, improve potential inter-assistance skills, and develop parapsychism, to name just a few. To talk about mastering energies today, let me introduce our team. Karina Eliashar is graduated in economy and psychology, speaker and teacher of Conscientiology. Karina has been working as a volunteer since 2007 and been with ASSIPI since 2013, working in the technical scientific department. Very welcome, Karina.
Hi, Luna. Thank you. Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me.
Sister Shanima is one of our hosts today. Sister works with business development and partnerships. He lives in Germany. Has been studying, teaching, and researching Conscientiology since 1993, and has been volunteering at ASSIPI since December 2020. Sister, welcome today.
Hello, hi everyone. I'm glad to be here to talk with you about this topic, important topic.
Very good. Douglas Monteiro is another host. He's PhD candidate in microbiology at the Federal University of Rio de Janeiro. He's been volunteering at ASSIPI since 2017, as a teacher since 2018, and also as a writer for the Encyclopedia of Conscientiology. He's currently coordinating the IT area at ASSIPI, especially working on the ASSIPI official website. Welcome, Douglas Monteiro.
Thank you for having me again. It's a great pleasure to be here discussing this topic.
Very good, Douglas. Okay, people, first off, it's important to say that everything said here in this activity, in the program, has been taken as a result of theories based on personal experiences and experiments, right? So the principle of disbelief is mandatory. Don't believe in anything, not even what we say here in our debates. Experiment, have your own experiences, right? That's the principle of disbelief we are so much stuck to. Speaking of Conscientiology, what is Conscientiology, Douglas?
So, Conscientiology is the science that studies the consciousness as a whole, with all its bodies, existence, experience, times, and places of life, in an integral, projective, and self-conscious approach in relation to the various existential dimensions. So the consciousness is me, the consciousness is you. It is also all people in human life and all self-conscious beings of dimensions outside human life. And this science is based on the consciential paradigm, which is focused on bioenergies, multidimensional and pluriexistential scopes, self-research, cosmoethics, universalism, and also the holosoma.
Very good. And it's important to say that Conscientiology has different kinds of institutions, each of them specialized in one specific kind of study. At ASSIPI, we are specialized in parapsychism. Karina, can you introduce ASSIPI to the first-timers, please?
Yes, sure. So ASSIPI is the International Association of Interassistential Parapsychism, and we are specialized in the study, research, development, and practical use of parapsychism that is aimed on the mature use of self-parapsychism that is indispensable for our evolution. So here we learn how to master our energy. So we are going to talk about this and the parapsychism a lot today. And what is parapsychism? Is an ability. Some people call it the sixth sense, in addition to the five basic senses of the human body. And it's an inherent skill to every individual, and it can be rational enhanced, free from any religious connotation or mystical initiations. And the lucid development of parapsychism enables an integral understanding of what is consciousness and allows the experience of the conscious paradigm proposed by Conscientiology.
Very nice. You said something very, very important. That we're going to talk about something that is inside, in the core of this study at ASSIPI, right? Which is parapsychism and how to develop parapsychism. Very nice. And we are all doing this today in English because we have a project called ASSIPI in English. Cicero, could you just introduce ASSIPI in English for the first timers as well, please?
Yeah, good. The ASSIPI in English is a project that has the purpose to expand the knowledge of practical parapsychism in English.
Your mic, Luna.
Here we go again. All right. I hope not to happen. This quite often. All right. So let's begin our topic. Let's begin to talk about our topic today. And I would like to begin from the beginning, right? What is from beginning from the beginning? We are talking about mastery energies. All right. So the point here is to tell you how you can improve this ability. And I think it is important if we start talking about holosoma. Why? Because it's our base, right? It's very interesting because we have 4 bodies, 3 of which are energetic, right? So that's nice to start talking about how mastery energies by saying how we can do this with our body, right? And the first point, which I think it's very important, is to talk about the soma, right? We have the soma, we have an ego soma, which is an energetic body. We have a psychosoma, which is the emotional body, and the mental soma, which is the body of the brain, the body of the thoughts, right? It's the most subtle body we've got. So let's start by saying, Cicero, how can people improve the ability to master energy from the soma? What care should we take to have a better quality of our energies?
Yeah, good question. Well, I think there are really a lot of possibilities. So the habits we have, the routine, can be very connected to the quality and pattern of energies that we have. So the connection of mastering energies and the taking care of our physical body is very connected. But I'd like to highlight some points. The quality of sleeping, so to sleep regularly with quality so that you really can relax in a good way, get up in a good mood, and so on, with good energies. Of course, the food and all related aspects relate to vitamins, food, and things related to this. So to have a balanced physical body in all conditions. And there is one additional point that I'd like to mention that some people sometimes forget it. That's related to the practice of physical exercises. I think this activation of physical body in doing exercise regularly, it has a strong connection to the domain of energies. In my case, okay, this can be different from people. I really perceive really very strong relation when I am very, how I can say, with discipline, doing my exercise regularly, more aerobic exercises than anaerobic. So that's long-term exercise, 40 minutes of walking, things like this, swimming. So I think these are points that we need to count when we want to master our energies. So these are some points to start this debate. I'm sure you have also other points to add in this debate.
Very nice. Karina Douglas would like to add something?
Yes. Just add that I agree with Cicero, and I also feel the same when I do exercises. Just to share my experience, I also feel that like if my energetic body is expanded, although we are moving the soma, but I feel the energosoma is always also moving. So it's very interesting. And another thing that I use is to relax and work on my breath. So exhale and inspire. I think it's in.
Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Yes,
yeah, right. Inhale for a few seconds and count until 8, and then exhale. So I begin to stay calmer, and I can feel my energetic body better. So I work in the intraphysical body, in the soma, to feel the energosoma as well. So it helps me a lot.
Very good. And some might be asking or thinking, well, you talked about energosoma. What's it all about? What's the repercussions of energies on our energosoma? Douglas, can you talk a bit about it, please?
Yes, as our colleague said, every physiological aspect of our soma or of our physical body, they alter our energies. So our energosoma is the body that connects our physical body to our spiritual body or our psychosoma or emotional body. And it can be trained. These energies can be mobilized by our will. So we can start doing some energetic exercise to make it more malleable. How can I say it? More
malleable. Yeah, malleable.
Yeah.
Less rigid.
Yeah. So, for example, in Conscientiology, we have the vibrational state where you focus your energies on a point of a body, usually your head, and then you move these energies through it until you make your whole energetic body feel like it reached a dynamic state where you can where this practice can eliminate some blockage. It can help your physiological functions. It can help develop your parapsychism. So we have this health practice that we can do with our physical body, and we also have this health practice that we can do with our energetic body as well. Someone would like to compliment
this? Okay.
on this
Yes,
topic?
that's very important. And if you think about like what is an egosoma? An egosoma can be seen, if you check out those Kirlian photographs in which we have lots of light. It looks like burners of a cooker around our body. So this is the energies of an egosoma. It's very intense because it's quite connected to the physical body. So it has loads of anemic energies involved. And also, we also have psychosoma and the mental soma. And it's very important, as Douglas said, to work out these energies, right? Because if our whole chakra, if our, the negosoma is very rigid, our perceptions of the extra physical dimension won't be so clear. We'll have problems communicating. So how important it is, Karina, to work out our energies on a daily basis?
I think it's a matter of healthy, so it's very important. So to have a better energetic health, like Cicero said regarding the soma, we have to sleep, we have to feed our soma, we have to take a shower every day. It's the physical hygiene. We also have to be concerned about the energetic hygiene as well. So it's important to every day do this technique that Douglas explained, the vibrational state. We also have this technique explained in the 700 experiments. There's a test. I don't remember the number, but we have the session of the energosoma. So if you want to apply this technique, it's good if we do this every day. If you can do this 20 times a day, even better, because we are always exchanging energies with the environments, with other people, in the cell phone, in the TV, when you see in the news, when you open your WhatsApp. So you are like we inhale and exhale the air that we breathe. It's the same with the energy. So it's important to remember to shake this energy that is not ours and being balanced all the time, because we often absorb so much energy, and sometimes it's late until we realize that we absorb the amount of energy or a pattern that is not really positive. And we begin to feel sometimes ill, sometimes demotivated, sometimes with a headache or stomach ache. And we are not aware this is due to because we are out of shape, energetically speaking. So it's good to practice every day in a prophylactic manner, and also sometimes not in prophylactic. Sometimes it's too late. Sometimes I feel I assimilated more than I could cope, and I have to make an intensive workout, energy workout, in order to de-assimilate. So
that's important. Right. Yeah, we'll be talking about it. It's in a moment along the program today. I'd like to tell you who, in the other side of the screen, please ask your questions, right? In our chat box. Then we'll be answer all of your questions. And I would like to start with asking you a question, right? For the other attendees. How do you notice your energies? How do you feel your energies? Are you able to feel your energies? Do you know what we're talking about? What experience do you have in terms of feeling your energies and the way you react to it? If you want to make a comment, please leave in the chat box. That will be talking about it. That will be very good to interact with you in this topic, right? To know experiences on this. All right. Before I go into the interactions, which is very good, and this is the point actually when we talk about mastering energies, I would like to introduce another concept we have here in Conscientiology, which is the Thousine. We talked about the holosoma, right? The 4 bodies, which is very important to talk about, to know that we have 3 energetic bodies and a soma in a physical body, but also Thousine, right? Cicero would like to talk about Thousine, because this is the unit of our perceptions. We don't only talk, let's put this thing this way, we only talk with our energy, we also talk with our thoughts and sentiments. Could you talk about it, Thousine, Cicero, please?
Good. Yeah, this is important because it's an idea that's all interconnected, these 3 elements, all the time. So all the time we are producing some type of thoughts, some level of sentiments or type of sentiments, and all together with energy. So in some moments we have a percentage a little bit higher in one of these elements, but all the time we have they all happening. So this is very interesting, and this means that, for example, our energies in one side is very interconnected also to what we are thinking and the feelings we are having. So this makes the pattern of the energy. So this means also the commands we give to the energy. We can have certain level of commands to expand the energies, or this is connected to move also the energies. But I could say that's very important for us to think the relationship that what we are thinking, how commitment we have in terms of how optimist we are. For example, when we are moving energies, that we are going to move them, that we are sure that we can do it. So when we have a posture more optimist related to some things based on our previous experience, for example, this can be much more helpful for us to have a better level of performance when we are working with energies. Just talking about energies, but also the same, the influence of our energies in our thoughts, in our feelings. So when we are in a better harmonic level of energies, seems that everything in our behavior is better. We feel better, our humor is better, seems that the life is lighter, the thoughts we have, they go in a better flow. So these all things are all interconnected, and it's interesting for us to observe how important is then in this case the harmony, and how important is not only to do this intuitively with intuition, but really to have certain commands on what to control a little bit, not control, but basically to take care and to protect and to enhance our thoughts in a better level. The same for the sentiments, to not get in patterns of sentiments that are not so positive for our balanced behavior. Could be a very nice emotion, but this is sometimes decrease our level of thoughts. So it's good to be more harmonic, and this is all interconnected. So this is one first idea related to those things that I'd like to share.
Very nice. And it's very important to say to people exactly the way we interact with people, right? We interact with energies, but also consider what we are thinking and what we are feeling. Douglas, how can you describe this behavior or interaction behavior, if I may say so, when you are dealing with people, right? Sometimes we know that we don't even know the person and we feel bad, or we have some kind of telepathy. So how the third scenes work in our everyday life? Could you give some examples, please?
Yes, actually, when we interact with people or places, our energies they mix up with the energies of other persons, another person, uh, or the environment. And for example, with if that person has an energetic disbalance, for example, if he's mad of something, of if he's angry, of if he's sad, this energy, we interact with that energy, and if we are susceptible to that emotion, we will tend to drag that feeling for a long time. But we have some techniques that we can use, of course. For example, the vibrational state. If we are always doing some energetic exercise, we start to train our energetic bodies to quickly de-assimilate these emotions. We can also use the vibrational state during that talk with that person, or during when you get to an environment and you feel that heavy energy, you can use the vibrational state to quickly de-assimilate that. and of course you can do it later on. It's good also to mention that the vibrational state and these interactions are an opportunity to help the other person. So if they're feeling they are sad or something, and you're going to help them with your energies, since you have more and you are more balanced with them, and you can later on de-assimilate these energies. So it could be a key to help other persons.
Very good. It was very nice for you to say the energies of the environment. Karine Lesha is the author of a course called The Energy of the Environment, right? So follow up on the ASSIPI activities that most possibly in the future will be giving this course. Karine will be giving this course about the energy of the environment. And I would like to ask her about the differences between immanent energies and consciential energies, right? The way we interact with these energies and how exposed we are to these interactions. Karina.
Sure, Mario. But just to complement what Douglas said about the false scene, I think the false scenes are the best way to defend ourselves from these energies from the environment. So it's a good technique. So it's important to be aware of our pattern of thinking and false scening. Because sometimes when I'm upset with someone and I think bad of the person, of the situation, automatically it's like it's contagious. I begin to feel what the person is going through. And if I don't have a good intention, the first person to be harmed is myself. And the second, of course, the person that I'm sending this pattern of energy that is not so good. So it's important to have these. I think we already said that the hygiene, the mental hygiene as well, not only the soma, the energosoma hygiene, but specifically the mental hygiene. So we can better interact with other people. So the consciential energy you were talking about is exactly the set of false scenes. So of everyone in the environment, for example. So in a place full of people, we will have lots of consciential energy because we are always thinking, always sending energies, always with sentiments, because as you said before, the false scene, we cannot separate these three elements. But if we go to a place with fewer people, with lots of energy from the nature, so this is the immanent energy. When we have lucid projections, for example, sometimes we can absorb the energies from the extra physical dimension, also immanent energies from the space, from the wind, from the water flows, the sea. So it's very good to balance our energy and absorb from different patterns with fewer people as well. You might
mute microphone.
I have to come to terms with it. I will in the future. All right. I have some questions for you, right? For you to interact with this topic. Tell us how you feel, or how you feel when you are, for example, in an immanent energy on a beach or in a very quiet place, and when you are interacting with people. Have you had an experience that you felt very well for something specific, for a specific reason, or the contrary, or in a negative way, right? Just think about what's your experience interacting with the energies of a place, of a specific place. We have already a question from Irina Kondruta. The question is, what's your advice for someone who sees that the results are not the one expected with the daily exercise of mastering the energies, and starts to diminish his or her determination? Cicero would like to answer this question, please.
Yeah, very, very interesting question. I could say the goals related to energy development can be very connected to many other goals that sometimes we have. So not always we just perceive immediately the results. And I think it's very important to be persistent. So there are some techniques that we can use in this to make easier for the person to be motivated also to continue doing practice and so on. One is really to try to break in little parts that you can have better measurements of what you have in terms of performance. So, for example, if you are doing a lot of different types of energy movements, so you are practicing exercise of energies, it's interesting to try to observe little parts. So, for example, if you are moving energies up and down, you can keep track of the energies and just focus in things that you sometimes have, you do also easily, and try to perceive if you have better feelings about it. If you perceive a little bit better after 2 weeks, for example, doing this every day and things like this. So this is one thing. You try to perceive little things and not necessarily all the final result of your entire energies. So another thing, important, for example, when we move energies, when we are practicing exercise, is that it's good to try to observe things that we can have comments, that we know what we are doing. Try to observe what you are better, what you have better perceptions. For example, the energies can be something we can really perceive it. Like, for example, I have my arm here, I can move my arm according to my will, and the same with energy. So we need to find which aspects of energy we can really do, we can really observe ourselves. A part of doing all the cycle of exercise, you can focus also in the things that you already have better mastering or better knowledge on how to do it and how to perceive it, and try to observe if you get more familiar with this after some time. So this is one thing. Another thing that may be in some case is really to try different techniques. Sometimes there are some techniques that they work better for one person and different for other. So sometimes we can try to do some variation of techniques. So this is something that could be also possible for us to develop, to try to find better way to improve and to use the techniques. Sometimes is connected also not only to the energy itself, but all the other aspects that we mentioned before, things related to the soma, things related to the daily routine. If you are very busy with other things, with the head thinking in job and financial aspects or any other things that sometimes you are not focused 100% in the energy exercise when you are doing energy exercise and things like this. What I could say is, in terms of the experience we have um, observing students, participants of our courses, and other people that we have contact, is that if the person really puts effort and practices in a routine, doing several weeks, it's possible to observe improvements. So this is something that is very common. Many people really say that they have good results in some aspects of their lives. We cannot try to expect everything change suddenly from one moment to other. I think we are going also to explore other topics that will go in this direction today during this debate. But I think in general was some ideas related to this question. I don't know if some of my colleagues want to also add some other points to help in this answer.
I think that I can say it for me that in the beginning I had a high level of expectation regarding some the energetic training and my parapsychic abilities. So I thought that in a few months I would feel everything, see everything, understand everything from training. Uh, from training my energy, from doing some energetic exercise. But what I learned that it takes a long time, as it's a skill, so it takes years and years to develop and actually master it. But you can use these energetic exercises to balance your energies. So you have lots of how can I say it? You have lots of pros of doing the energetic exercise. You eventually develop some high level parapsychic abilities, but in a shorter term, you also feel better with your energies. You have a very better mood. You have better health. So we should see things as they are. So it's a skill. It takes a very long time to master it, to have some high level parapsychic abilities, but in a shorter term, you also have some pros, some good things that will happen to you. I don't know if Karina or Mario want to say something.
Yeah, I would say that there is a saying in English that is practice makes perfect, right? The more you practice, the better you get. And one thing that is important is while you practice energy, my experience will definitely not be the same as anyone else, right? I have a very particular response from the way my energies behave. So, working out our energies will give us a broader view of our reality, and that will entail a self-knowledge. So, Karina, let's talk about now self-knowledge, because I think that when we are talking about from that question from Irina, right, when she said that sometimes it diminishes determination. So I understood that there is something of self-confidence or confidence or parapsychic confidence involved, right? So, but as we have a gain of self-knowledge, right, while working with energies, don't you think that the practice will give us self-knowledge, and that would be another thing for us to overcome this kind of frustration?
I think, yes, I agree with you. I think it's important to insist and go step by step. And sometimes the expectations, they get in the way. So we can be demotivated if we have a lot of expectation and we don't accomplish the results. And another thing regarding not only self-research, but it's the group. The group, it makes us go further in every aspect of our lives. When I'm working out, for example, if I have a group or a gym to go to or a personal trainer, it will help me to get there if I can do this alone. So that's what we are doing here. We are discussing this subject in group. Nowadays, we cannot meet each other because of the pandemic, but in the past, we use to get together to practice energies in group. It also helps a lot. But since we cannot do this now, we can debate. So it's important because we feel the coupling, the decoupling of the energy, the energetic field when we are doing this. And this motivates us to keep on going. And another thing that's regarding ASSIPI, our matter scene, our main goal is to help other people through our energies, the interassistential parapsychism. So maybe it's another way to keep you practicing with your energies. So you can send your energy to someone that is in need, so you can feel the presence of the helper when you think of helping other people. And sometimes when I'm feeling kind of demotivated, I see a lot of people needing much more help than I'm needing. So I stop these feelings, these thoughts. Okay, I got to get up. I got to work with energy. There's a lot of people that are also depending on me going through this. And it's also my example. So I have to set an example to a group of people. So maybe this will help you get by and find your motivation again. But I would say don't give up. It's sometimes we are on the wave break, so it's a lot of waves coming. We have to pass through this, and then things tend to go smoother. when I started also, like Douglas said, started working with energy, it's like all the dust that was hidden. I don't know, I think I already said that expression. I'm not sure if it exists on English, the dust under the carpet. So we tend to hide things. Yeah, and then we start working out with energy and it goes up, so I don't want to see this. So I tend to demotivate. Oh, I don't see any results. I want to give up. It's the stories we tell ourselves. So I think it's important to deepen yourself in self-research and try to find what is that we don't want to see, what is the dust we want to put under the carpet again, why am I giving up, so what is my true motivation on working with energies or helping other people. I think this should help.
All right, we have a new questions coming from Jimenez, right? That's a very interesting question. I see that we have lots of answers for this question. Let's try to answer the best as possible. How many people do you know who master, right, who dominate energies?
Yeah, I could start talking about it.
Go
So
ahead.
one point is what level of we consider to be dominate energies, because this can be a subjective interpretation depending on how you identify it. So if we consider dominating energies, that person that has the ability, for example, to move the energies whenever they want, to have fast installation of vibrational state, to, how I can say, to exteriorize energies in a long distance, to install a field of energies even in places where the energies are not so harmonic. So the energies of the environment that we mentioned before, some places are not so good. So the person can keep their balance of energies in any conditions or almost all conditions, not every, don't say like in a total level of mastering, but in a high level, in a level that could keep harmony related to the energies, and also can use energies to help others using their will. So in many times a day. So this, I think, uh, the average number, I could say, is not really a big number of people that I know with all these mastering energies, but there are people that are very closer to this in many aspects, or that idea that they can do this maybe not 24 hours a day, but they do easily in 23 hours a day. It's a good development. So let's think about around people that I know that have a good level of energies. I could consider around 50 people that I know that they have good level of energies. I don't say that they really dominate the energies in all aspects, but I consider they have a good level of moving and knowledge, practical knowledge of energies that are very trained. Considering other areas is more or less like we call to be a professional in that area with a good knowledge in that area, but not professional of energies. I don't want to say that they use energies as a profession, but in this level of knowledge. So this is more or less what I'd like to share about it.
Karina, Douglas, anything to say?
I know some people that I consider that are very good with energies. As Cicero said, I agree with him that it's a very subjective meaning to that. There are lots of levels of mastering energies. So, for example, there are some people that they can de-assimilate very well the energies during the day. We have people that can feel very well, but not necessarily they can do whatever all that is possible with energy. But I've seen lots of people who are very good with energy, and they have very theoretical and practical knowledge on it. And what I try to do is to learn whatever is possible from uh, day. So on my way to master energies, I try to get information from as many people as I can that I know that are very good with energy.
Yes, what is important to know, that was a very good question from Jimenez. What is important to say is every single person is able to master energies at some level, right? We may have the idea of, okay, the great, no, but let's put it down on a daily basis. If you work out with energies, you are able to master energies at some level, right? So the question is, what's your level? What is your energy load, right? For example, I have experienced through my whole life that when I am doing something like interassistance work, or when we talked about a few minutes ago about those zines, or the quality of our thoughts, sentiments, and energies, it qualifies my intention, it qualifies my work, right? If I'm interassistance work, it's a variable, right, that I'm just taking it to explain my point of view. And that's should be the point of view, because we're talking about interstitial energies. So if you are working in interstitial work, if I'm working besides helpers, extra-physical helpers, if we have a good work to do, if you are doing things, from the bright side, right, I think that we tend to improve our energy load, right? The more we do, the more we practice, the better we get. As we said, practice makes perfect. And I have experienced in my entire life different moments in which I went through intra-consciential recycling. And after each of them, each recycling, each reframing of behaviors I had, I gained a lot more authority to master more energies in more situations and deal with more people. So this work, right, it's in progress. We are never stopped. We're never stagnated. It should never be, right? So as we are working our recyclings, as we are making the changes, as we are inside interessential work, and as our zines are okay, the tendency with the trend is that we are also progressing in our energy load. Last week, I had a very interesting experiences after accepting a new position in the institution. That was very interesting because it was a position of responsibility, and I felt the weight of this responsibility, the importance of these responsibilities. So I experienced just after that a different kind of extra-physical pressure, energetic pressure. One I have never had before, but it was completely new. I thought I was not going to manage. The first time I felt that, it was the energy load was immense. Then I said, wow, this is something different. But when I had this for the second time, it was a lot more comfortable to deal with. It was a lot more feasible, more possible for me to deal with that kind of energy. So we are never stagnated. We are always progressing in our energy load. We are always having more and more and more. So we have to stop and think. And this is something I just throw back to you, is what is your energy load, right? What is your energy load? How much can you master the energies you are involved, and how master you are mastered by these energies? So this is a very good question. How much you can master the energies, and how much we are mastered by energies? It means, do I influence the energy of the environment, or I'm still more influenced by the energies of the environment? That's a good question, isn't it, Karina?
Yeah, Mari, I think so. And I think the intention is very important in this subject. Not only master by the energies by just mastering it. Oh, I want to own the place. I want to be heard. I want my opinion to prevail. That's not it at all. It's to master for your health, for your self-defense, but also to improve other people. So sometimes people, they have a selfish agenda. So this will harm your progress as well. So it's important to be aware of why we are doing this. Why do I want to master the energies? And I also think it's almost meteorological. I master all the energy. It's impossible. We are here to learn this step by step, little by little. Some people master better than others. But I think the falsanity is the, I'm going to repeat this always, because I think the falsanity is what will help us to master better the energy, to refrain from pathological energies and improve a whole environment, improve other people, just by the power of our falsanity, of our aura, because it's really related to our thoughts, our sentiments, and of course our energy. It's the business card, so we can influence a whole bunch of people just with the pattern of our falsanity. So this is a way of also mastering our energies.
That's right. Well, if you are in that intersubstantial side life, if your intention is really immaculate, then we will have lots of help to enhance more and more our ability to master the energies. We have another question here. It's said that laziness would be the main difficulty to master the energies, but what would be the etiological cause of this laziness?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, Cicero.
Okay. Well, for example, one can also be many possibilities, but one important aspect is purpose. So if you have a purpose of life, a purpose of the things you are doing, many times you find motivation on it. If you don't have a real purpose, sometimes you don't give too much effort on it. You don't, it's not too much a big value for you. Another aspect that we could consider, Mario just answered some aspects related to assistance. So when we have the focus on others to use energies many times to do a more practical activity using our energies, for example, to help others, this can also be a motivation for us to develop. So we are not thinking only in ourselves. We want to improve our energies to help others. This can be interesting aspect. And also Mario mentioned also just before, related to the challenge, the personal change. So sometimes we need to perceive what can be blocking us in terms of the next steps that we are planning to go. So this is also important. And only one more aspect I'd like to add related to this is related to the inertia effect. This means if you are not practicing energies like every day, the tendency when you start the first day you are motivated, but the second day starts to decrease motivation, the third decrease more, and the fourth maybe is already not motivated anymore. Only as an example. So this is related to the inertia. So it's good to create a routine. It's many times well known that, for example, we consider 21 days to create a routine, to establish a new routine if you are doing things every day. So it's good to practice for a long time, like we are starting to walk, to do physical exercise. Sometimes we just start, but then the other days we decrease motivation. The same for gym or other aspects. So this is the same with energy. We need to know how is our behavior, how is our discipline, our organization to reach our goals. So it needs, yes, some effort, some abilities that we need to integrate our strong traits, our skills to really work with energy. So it's not just simple to do it, but we need to consider all the aspects that we can have to improve our energies. So I think this is connected to this answer of laziness in one point of view. Okay.
Karina, would like to say something?
Yes, I agree that laziness often get in the way, and we have to overcome this. Otherwise, we will be dominated. Like Mario said, something like that. Or we dominate the energies, or the energies will dominate us. And I don't want to be dominated. I want to have my free will. If I want to do something, I'll go for it. I don't want to be a couch potato, just stay at home watching TV and getting fat and lazy, don't exercise, don't work with energies, have to take pills to sleep. No, I want my will to prevail, so I will do this. You have to focus. And sometimes, even if it helps, write on a paper, put it in your mirror. do the vibrational state, don't give up, and read them often. I have my personal code of cosmoethics. It's like a code to remind me the important things and my goals in life. So you have to find out your techniques to help you get out of this inertia. And so the laziness has many reasons, and we have to study what's our reason. Sometimes it's an excuse. So I don't want to see some things. I don't want to change things in my life. So I blame it on the laziness. So I don't look into it. So it's important to dig a little deeper to find out the real cause. Why am I not prioritizing if I know it's really important to my life? So maybe this will help you.
Very good, Karina. And I remember actually one of the recyclings I did a few years ago. It was existential recycling. It was very important in my life. I had, if I can give you a tip, Elias, right, the person who asked the question about laziness, is you should have a motivation. What is your motivation? What is your motivation to change? My motivation, for example, was to get ready to start Penta. Penta is an activity, a daily activity of externalize the energy for 50 minutes, right, for the rest of your life. It's an essential activity. So Penta is tenapis in Portuguese, right? And that was my motivation. So I would do anything to reach that motivation. So that was a big motivation. So sometimes we have a big motivation. It's like that. You need to stop smoking, but you never manage to get this. Then the doctor says to you, if you don't stop, you will die. And that, it's a bit dramatic, but it's sometimes lots of people come to this point, right? If you don't stop, you will die. So death is your motivation. You don't want to die, so you have this motivation. Okay, so find a motivation, and the laziness will just disappear. It will just, goes like puff, and you will reach what you want. This is my tip for you. We are unfortunately finishing our program today, so we have 3 minutes to go, and we have to advertise some activities we'll have, right? The first one is next week. We have the course by the instructor Fabiana Guzel, course Parapsychic Self-Availability. That is a very, very good course to look at the topic of the course. Are you aware of the multidimensional reality? And one of the highlights is parapsychic personal availability and interexistential parapsychic development, evolutionary benefits of parapsychic self-availability, parapsychic self-availability development techniques, and parapsychic lucidity in the daily life. So the course will take place online. It's 90 reais, and you can enroll on the ASSIPI website, right? ASSIPI.org/loja. 5th of June, next Saturday, from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. And I would like to say something else. A big event in Conscientiology that's coming up in August is taking place online as well, which is the 3rd International Week of Conscientiology, Cognopolis, right? Evolutionary Planetary Interconnection 2021. We will have it was 9 days long, with several speeches from several researchers, including Karina Eliashah. She will be talking on August 23rd about the energies of the environment, right? And a lot more. It's a very important event, international, entirely spoken English, and I highly recommend you participate because it will be massive, right? People, it's time to say goodbye. We'll see you next month on June 27th. We'll be talking about a question: is there life after death? See you there. Thank you very much for your participation. Would you like to say your final words, people?
I just want to thank you and congratulate you, Mario, for conducting this talk very well, and also my colleagues. It was a pleasure to be here.
Also a pleasure to be here, and thanks again for the invitation, and see you next time.
Thank you. Awesome.
Bye-bye. Cheers. Have a nice Sunday.